Story title: Secrets in the Attic. Chapter 1: Sunlight and Shadows. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the gravel driveway as the old white Volvo pulled away, carrying away the warm laughter and gentle presence of Alex and Emma's grandparents. The ivy-clad house, an architectural mosaic rich with history, hummed in the soft breeze, its bricks whispering tales of yore. Alex, lanky at 16, craned his neck to ensure their grandparents had truly vanished from view, while Emma, not far behind in age, brushed a stray strand of auburn hair behind her ear, a gesture filled with budding curiosity. "Ready?" Alex's voice rang with youthful mischief, tinged with the seriousness of the adventure that lay ahead. Emma nodded, her eyes alive with intrigue. Ever since they were children, the attic had been shrouded in a veil of mystery, grandmother's warnings of dusty treasures and grandfather's gentle chuckles only intensifying its allure. Today, with the house to themselves, the attic beckoned like the pages of an unread story waiting to unfold. Their journey upward was a creaky ascent into the past. The wooden ladder groaned under their weight, dust motes dancing through the golden shafts of light from the solitary window. As they clambered into the untouched realm, the air was thick with nostalgia. Stacks of ancient furniture, antiques draped in heavy canvas, and boxes labeled in the hurried scrawl of time stood like sentinels guarding their secrets. Emma pulled a flashlight from her hoodie, its beam slicing through the dimness, illuminating treasures of old. There were wooden chests overflowing with lace, sepia-toned photographs capturing frozen smiles, and a record player nestled in the corner, the arm poised like an orchestra conductor awaiting its cue. But what caught Alex's eye was the trunk shoved into the shadows. No dust disturbed its surface, as if it had been recently handled. "Should we?" Emma whispered, the implications of intrusion heavy in the air. "It's just another adventure," Alex replied, masking his uncertainty with a grin. "Besides, it's just a trunk, right?" But as Alex deftly picked the lock with a hairpin, a skill acquired during their last summer escapade involving Uncle Charlie's tool shed, they discovered it was far from just a trunk. The lock gave way with a reluctant click, and the lid opened, releasing a breath of stale air, time slipping from its maw. Emma held the flashlight steady as the trunk's contents came into view. A myriad of documents lay undisturbed beneath a velvet cloth. Old dossiers, reams of coded messages, and seals embossed with unfamiliar insignias. Each paper seemed to cry out with silent stories, fragments of lives lived in the shadows. "What do you think this is?" Emma asked, voice barely above a whisper, trembling with awe. "Story." "I'm not sure," Alex replied, a foreboding weight settling into his stomach. "But it looks important." He gingerly lifted the velvet cloth, unveiling a satellite phone and a handgun, startlingly modern amidst relics of the past. They exchanged a stunned glance, the enormity of their discovery dawning upon them, challenging the innocent memories this house had always invoked. "We have to be careful," Emma murmured, her excitement now tinged with fear. As they sifted through their grandparents' secret life, potentially one entangled with espionage and conflicting allegiances, a new understanding formed. The grandparents they had known, with their soft touch and stories of European travels, were now cast in new light, enigmatic figures shaped by a clandestine past. Staring at the wealth of information, the truth lay suspended in time's fog, challenges unfurling before them. Do they dare reopen these skeletons from their quiet closet, or let them slumber beneath dust and memories? As the phone buzzed ominously, demanding attention, summer's warmth felt abruptly chilling. Their childhood sanctuary now a repository of buried identities and moral complexities. In the shadows of the attic, their odyssey was only beginning. Chapter 2: Echoes of the Past. The evening sun waned, and night descended upon the idyllic countryside. Emma and Alex carried the weight of their discovery with unease, fear and curiosity wrestling for dominance. Shadows flickered against the walls of their shared bedroom, and the satellite phone, a silent intruder in their familiar surroundings, rested ominously between them. "Should we open it?" Emma asked, glancing at Alex's silhouette etched against the fading twilight. Her voice barely trembled, but carried the weight of all her uncertainty. "Maybe we shouldn't dig deeper," Alex replied, the words souring his tongue, despite the intrigue coursing through his veins. "What if this takes us somewhere we can't return from?" But it's already done, Emma persisted, her determination catching fire. We can't unknow this now, Alex. We have to understand what this means for us, for them. In an unspoken agreement, Emma reached for the phone. Its sleek design was a stark contrast to the dusty relics in the attic. The screen flickered to life, revealing a message in a language neither could understand, though its urgency transcended linguistic barriers. A call to action half a world away. What have Grandma and Grandpa been doing? Emma wondered aloud, her mind drifting to childhood memories of bedtime stories and warm embraces, now tainted with doubt. Maybe it's not what we think, Alex suggested, trying to grasp at any thread that might preserve their grandparents' image. Spies in the movies always have codes for something. Story. But what if they're really involved in all this? Emma's voice cracked slightly, the weight of their discovery amplifying her youthful vulnerability. We've always seen them as just grandparents. But what if that's only half the story? The room fell silent, the gravity of their situation echoing loudly in their minds. Hours passed as they scoured the internet, hoping to translate the message, piece together the clues from the dossiers, and peel back the layers cloaked in secrecy. The coded messages, cryptic and unsettled, hinted at missions long past, of alliances unknown, leaving the siblings more confused and awestruck by their findings. Amidst the tension, Emma recalled their grandfather's story about meeting their grandmother, about a dance under the endless starlit sky where language was no barrier. Could that romantic tale, shared over cocoa and laughter, have been formulated during a mission bordering life and death? As midnight closed in, their exhaustion gave way to a resolve solidifying between them. We need to know more, Alex said decisively, standing up, his resolve stronger than ever. Not just about what they've done, but who they've become. Emma nodded, understanding the unspoken words between them. She reached for a photo on her nightstand, one with their grandparents amid a field ablaze with sunflowers, warmth and joy captured eternally. It was a simple snapshot, yet whatever secrets it held were now transformed into their mission. We'll talk to them, Emma decided, a mix of determination and vulnerability in her voice. We deserve answers. We owe it to them to seek the truth. With the dawn approaching, Alex and Emma fell into a restless sleep, dreams intertwined with reality, evoking images of clandestine meetings beneath Europe's ancient bridges and whispered secrets that were perhaps no longer relevant, or maybe still set to change the world. In the sanctity of sleep, the line between past and present, truth and myth, blurred further. As sunlight peeked over the horizon, bathing the world in a gentle embrace, Alex and Emma awoke with a newfound purpose. The attic had offered them a glimpse into a world filled with secrets. Now the siblings, armed with knowledge, had to decide how to confront an intricately woven tale of espionage interlaced with the tenderness of familial love. Chapter 3. The Confrontation. The next morning brought with it blue skies streaked with wisps of white clouds, an illusion of peace that belied the turmoil brewing within the hearts of Alex and Emma. Breakfast was a quiet affair, the clink of cutlery punctuating the silence hanging over the table like a shroud. Their grandparents moved with familiar grace, serving pancakes and smiling warmly, the embodiment of the normalcy the siblings once took for granted. "It's a beautiful day," their grandmother remarked, her eyes crinkling with affection. Perhaps a walk by the river after breakfast? Story Alex and Emma exchanged a glance, the undercover agents from the attic nowhere in the gentle curve of her smile, the warmth in her voice. How could they reconcile these loving figures with the mysterious personas the attic had revealed? As breakfast concluded, Alex summoned courage from a depth he hadn't known he possessed. "Grandma, Grandpa, can we talk? It's important." A flicker of concern passed over their grandfather's face, a subtle shift behind his kind eyes. "Of course, dear boy. Let's sit outside, shall we?" The four of them gathered on the sun-dappled porch, the world extending in vibrant hues around them, a stark contrast to the words Alex knew he had to speak. Emma squeezed his hand in support, her eyes urging him on. "We went into the attic yesterday," Alex began, watching their grandparents without expressions for any sign of recognition or alarm, "and we found something unexpected." Their grandmother sighed softly, a gentle resignation in her eyes. "The trunk," she stated, not as a question but a quiet acknowledgement. Their grandfather's gaze turned to the horizon, where sunlight danced off distant fields. Yes, Emma continued softly, and the things inside, papers, a phone, a gun, we need to understand. Who were you, or who are you? The air felt charged with an unspoken truth, the serenity of the morning juxtaposing the immense weight of their revelation. Their grandparents exchanged a glance, a silent conversation passing between them, one that spoke of shared secrets, a life unexplored by their grandchildren. Grandfather leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. His demeanor was one of acceptance more than shock or denial. "It seems the time has come," he said, his voice gentle yet steady, "to untangle the threads of a life you never knew we had." Their grandmother took a deep breath, her gaze meeting her grandchildren's with a soft, earnest warmth. "We were indeed involved in covert operations during a time when the world was overshadowed by the Cold War's uncertainties. It was a different life, one that feels almost like a story from another era." "It was not a choice made lightly," Grandfather added, his gaze earnest. "Our actions were taken with the hope of safeguarding a world on the brink, of maintaining a balance amidst chaos." Emma and Alex listened, their emotions a kaleidoscope of confusion, awe, and a burgeoning comprehension. The stories flowed from their grandparents' lips, tales woven with codes and covert exchanges, of labored translations amidst whispered alliances. They described encounters under European starlit skyscapes and their eventual decision to settle into the countryside as years of political tension eased. Grandma's eyes softened as she continued, "When we had you, children, our heart and intentions were only ever to love and protect you." Her voice trembled with sincerity, resonating with the truth of a dual existence, deeply personal, yet intricately tied to the broader canvas of history. Story. As the hours stretched into afternoon, the siblings felt their understanding deepen, a profound appreciation for the complexity of a legacy that shaped the grandparents they adored. Alex asked the question that had been lingering since the previous day. "And the phone, the message? Does it mean that you're still involved?" Grandfather considered this. "The world is vastly changed now, yet some remnants linger, like echoes. The phone should no longer be active, and the message, if truly received, is perhaps sent by those clinging to a time that's moved on." His words were calming, yet the gravity of their grandparents' past haunted the tranquility of their family haven. Emma contemplated the dilemma posed by duty versus familial bonds. The secrets they unmasked, entwined with love so wholly genuine, surpassed simple resolutions. "These secrets, they don't change what we have, nor who we are now," Grandma said, her palm sighting gentle affirmation upon Emma's hand. "What we chose all those years ago is a part of us, but not the entirety." Emma and Alex shared a unified sigh as a burden, misunderstood and massive, felt incrementally lighter. The revelations of their grandparents, painted across decades, reframed every cherished memory they held. The stories, while true, seemed stories still, yet reflective not of strangers but of lives lived within the spectrum of iridescent contradiction. Chapter 4. Finding Equilibrium. In the days that followed, tranquility returned to the old house, though now enriched with nuance, its whispers unfolding deeper secrets of family and fate. Alex and Emma found themselves absorbing the full breadth of what they had learned, finding comfort in the routine of everyday life intertwined now with newly revealed depths. Their grandparents, layers of their history unveiled, embodied the embodiment of resilience and adaptability, agents of a past entrenched in global tension, who had forged peace and love within their family. The siblings carried this knowledge with an air of respect, guardians now of inherited legacies, as they contemplated the balance of their own journey ahead. The satellite phone was eventually returned to the authorities, guided there on the waves of their grandparents' intentions to close one chapter definitively. The authorities' response, calm yet assertive, helped assuage any lingering fears, providing both closure and wisdom. As summer rivaled the song of cicadas, Alex and Emma drew closer to their grandparents, their newfound understanding blooming. They shared stories of past and present, ensuring these newfound tales would pass into the gentle weaving of family yarn, a reminder of humanity's complex tapestry. The attic, once shrouded in mystery, was now less an enigma and more a beacon, its existence a reminder of stories that lived beyond the gaze of innocence, yet integral to the very foundation of kinship and love. Story. With each visit to the countryside home, as years gracefully unfolded, the siblings honored both the simplicity of laughter over shared meals and the gravitas of history bound under ivy and sky. Theirs was a secret nurtured in wisdom, cherished not only for what it revealed but for the promise it held, a life not dictated by shadows but embraced in light. As autumn leaves whispered stories of change, Alex and Emma understood a simple truth. The essence of family lay not in the secrets held, but in the love consistently given, a beacon guiding them through any darkness. The past was just one chapter in the grand narrative of their lives, a dynamic interplay of courage, integrity, and compassion, each story intimately theirs to carry forward together. The sprawling, ivy-covered home remained a place of refuge where legacies converged, enriched by the layers of truth from dusty antiques to the living fabric of everyday moments, a narrative shared in stories told on lazy afternoons and in the unyielding trust of family ties unbroken by the passage of time.